Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Haunting in Connecticut. And this movie came out in 2009, and I thought this movie was pretty bad. I did not care about one single element of this movie. And out of all the horror movies that I've seen from this collection, this is definitely the most boring out of the entire 10 movie collection that this came in. And I could not get into a single character in this movie. I was never entertained by anything. The only enjoyment I got out of it was just laughing at how cheesy some moments were, but that stuff doesn't even happen until halfway through the movie, and 25% of the movie is kind of funny bad, but the rest of the movie is so boring. So boring, and it's not even funny bad until halfway through the movie, like I said. And the first half of this movie is just unbelievably dull. Nothing matters. Nothing happens. And there's no consequence to anything. And I was getting incredibly impatient with how little happened throughout that first half. And in the second half, it got a little bit better, but not by a lot. All of the drama in this movie is really forced and cheesy, and a lot of the characters don't even need to be in this movie. Like, there's a father character, and he does literally nothing in the movie. He doesn't add to the story. He doesn't know what's going on in terms of, like, the situation, and the only character who actually knows what's going on is, like, that's aside from the main character and, like, some person that he met. I don't even remember his name. Our main character had a cousin, and she was like kind of being informed of what was going on, and she was like the only moderately entertaining character throughout the entire film. Everyone else is just boring and does not need to be in the movie, and it's just there to add to the amount of characters that are in this movie. And this movie takes place in the 80s, but for the longest time I forgot that it took place in the 80s because it just feels so modern. It never feels like you're in the 1980s. There's barely anything to remind you that you're in that time period, aside from the cars, and people go to a library to get information, and no one has an iPhone. Like, the house has a telephone, and that's about it. The music in this movie was cheesy and overbearing, and it was so inappropriate in so many scenes that it was in, and towards the end of the movie, it's really trying to hammer in how sad something is happening. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was so cheesy, and I could not take that scene seriously. It was so poorly handled, and I was just laughing. And this movie also had some bad special effects that took me out of the movie. There was not a single moment in this film where I was scared. There was not a single moment where I was invested. There wasn't a character that I liked. There were no performances in this movie that were standouts, and that kind of has to do with the characters being super weak, and they have nothing to work with. And throughout the entire movie, I was just waiting for something interesting to happen, and that didn't happen, and the movie felt like it was stretched out forever, and there was a point in this movie where I had just half an hour left, and I felt as though the movie was wrapping up and was about to end, but it just keeps going, and it just feels like you're wasting my time, and I wanted the movie to end, and I felt like I was just being tortured. Like, not intentionally by the film, like, oh, this movie is torture and you're supposed to feel tortured. Like, I felt as though, like, I was being tortured in ways that it was not intending. Like, I was bored, I was just in the physical world, just feeling uncomfortable, and needing to take breaks and, like, have a snack, and I was legitimately falling asleep for the first hour of this movie. I barely made it through, and this is probably in the top 10 most boring movies I've seen in a long time. Probably ever. Maybe not ever. I'll have to check that list to see what I would rank as the top 10 most boring movies to me, but this is definitely up there. It's not good. And that's about all I have to say about The Haunting in Connecticut. It's bad. I don't like really anything about it. I've seen worse. I think I like it a little bit better than You're Next because I didn't leave this movie feeling angry. I just kind of forgot about most of it. And so skip this movie if you ever come across it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Haunting in Connecticut a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of The Haunting in Connecticut, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up. And this is going to be for a movie that I've been meaning to rewatch for a long time, and I had plans to review this movie sooner, but I forgot about it, or something came up, I don't remember. But now's as good a time as any to revisit The Sixth Sense, so look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.